Hey folks, Leith here. It's the 30th of September. I'm just doing a reading for the full moon that is coming on October 2nd. This full moon is our lunar return, meaning that the moon is starting a completely new cycle. So we can see it here, moon in Aries. And so what does that mean? We can see that the moon is injured. It has Chiron, the wounded healer, sitting with it. And if we go over to the solar return, we see that was obviously in the end of March when Sun entered Aries, the beginning of a new cycle. We see that the Sun was also injured with Chiron, the wounded healer. So our sense of identity, Sun, began a new 12-month cycle, injured, saying, Chiron in Aries is, what is my sense of identity? Who am I? Where do I fit? And this year has been all about that, the emergence of the controlling hand, which lots of people were aware of and lots of people were not. Lots of people were not so clear that we are a human herd managed by an external body, as if we are cattle. So our sense of identity has been begins injured, long time injured, and our sense of emotional security, moon, comes in as injured. But what is the unspent potential of these positions? That's what we really want to know. And as it's a lunar return, beginning of a 12-month cycle, and the moon is going to move through every glyph over the course of the year, of its year, we are saying here, what do I need for my sense of emotional security? So we know that this ruling hand likes to run our emotions in this kind of a way. They like our emotions to be going crazy, right? Because that creates chaos, it creates hysteria, it drives crime, which keeps them all employed. It creates broken families, which makes us more easily controlled if we're in fragmented systems. So as we're in this rise of consciousness, our unspent potential, the wounded healer, how do we heal this unspent potential, both in terms of what we expect for our emotional security and what we expect for our sense of identity, is that we are able to self-govern, because God gave man dominion over all things, right? So we are a self-governing species, human. There's many different races here as humans, all in a human suit, all working together because planet Earth is part of a galactic enterprise. And it's important that planet Earth evolve out of this restrictive, constrained environment that it's been trapped in by these overlords that have chosen to run the planet in this crazy way that we have all been subjected to. So as part of our healing here, we want to say that we can run our own environment in a way where our emotions are not like this, but are maybe more like this, because we live in a more predictable manner. We have our resources running properly. We in Australia are about to go back into another restriction of austerity as the job keeper, job seeker gets reined in a bit. It's 50%. It doesn't matter about those particular figures, but this drives this stress when, for example, Victoria is just coming out of lockdown. So they like to do this silent weapons for quiet wars, if you've ever read that paper, where they're always pushing humanity's ability to cope with the environment to the levels where they can witness these extremes and see how far they can push the psychology. But ultimately, we want our psychology to be running more calmly. In all the uprisings that have been happening through the COVID, I think that humanity is doing a very good job at showing up peacefully to present itself and to grow humanity around itself, being a united whole and never going into violence. We see the violence is pretty much always initiated by the ruling hand. They come in and generate chaos for us. So the unspent potential of this new moon cycle is to say we live on an abundant planet. There's absolutely no reason why there would be homelessness or hysterical situations. We have more than enough resources to be able to manage all of us adequately without there being any circumstances that result in these extremes of emotion. I also want to draw attention to this stellium that we have been moving out of. It's been retrograde, and we had Pallas move out early September out of retrograde. Then we had Jupiter move out mid-September. Today, the 30th, it's already showing as moved because this is actually October 2nd. But today, Saturn moves out of retrograde, yay. And Pluto moves out on the 5th. So we're not very far away from Pluto moving forward. So I just reiterate that the outer landscape, so the moon is our most inner landscape, running our emotional world. Are we okay? Are we not okay? And Pluto is running our most outer world, our furthest, our broadest landscape of change, which it entered Capricorn in 2008, gave us the global financial crisis, showed us that the hand that was ruling us was toxic. And we have been frontiering through that, and we have still 3 years to go. It leaves Pluto in 2024 and goes into Aquarius, humanity, where we will continue to overhaul humanity. But right now, we are still overhauling our power structure. So the fact that Saturn has moved forward, or is moving forward today, is a fantastic thing. Saturn is in rulership in Capricorn, so we're looking for our most powerful identity of rulership, which of course lives with the people. The fact that all of this was retrograde is what has contributed to that stewing of everyone in lockdown and new measures coming to the surface that have really upset our sense of emotional stability. I want to draw reference again to the solar return just before I finish. If we look at this, such an interesting configuration when Sun entered Aries at 0 degrees with Chiron attached to it. Look at Juno over here all by itself. Juno we recognise as our ideal partner. It's sitting in Libra, Libra being one of the energies that oversees law. We would think that our ideal partner is someone that has our back, and yet it's opposing here our sense of identity. We have really this crown. So we could say law has failed us and we are the crown. And I'll show you that really simply in this diagram. We don't have law, we have a fake fictional legal system that the whole world has been living in for centuries. This is where law lives. And this is the boundary that people punch and fight at, wanting to create remedy from here. But that is not, it's not possible. Remedy doesn't live here. Remedy lives here in law. So this is the rising. So we're stepping out of this private trust system that we've been in, back into law, out of a private legal system. And so this is what our full moon is indicating to us. Let us claim our law for ourselves. We, the people, are the ones who will be writing the law, who should be writing the law. We will continue to see the fragmentation of government because it is overreaching, it is a guardian, a custodian for a people who have not yet fully grasped or organised themselves sufficiently to run their own systems of law, which are ultimately very simple because nature takes care of so much and shows us exactly what we need to live in equilibrium and to be harmonious with other galaxies and other visitors to our planet, which is of course all starting to unfold now. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Enjoy this full moon. Enjoy what it offers up as a lunar return and as we move through the psychology of humanity. This is the map of the psychology of humanity and where our potentials and unspent potentials live. So it's an exciting time, and peace and love to all and anyone who's in anguish. Some resources I just finish off with are if you want a geopolitical update, I like to recommend listening to Dave at the X22 report on YouTube. He always does a fabulous update. If you're not following Trump and the Q disclosures, then you're not following a wonderful roadmap that is right there for you to tap into. If you're in any kind of agony or if you've had someone suicide around you, I recommend Dolores Cannon. Her work is fantastic. If you want to hear incredible speakers with a brilliant, beautiful host, then I recommend the New Earth Project with Sasha Stone. And they are doing their 4-hour vigil this coming Friday with the Line in the Sand, where there's a great ensemble of speakers. So I recommend that for you. I will leave it at that at 13 minutes. Thank you for listening. Peace and love and wellness to everyone.